shall we start the session with a log? So the chief nurse's log.
Chief Nurse Kennedy Bianchi, personal log, stardate 843.56, 8:55 hours, USS Odysseus. Morning routes are complete. Given everything the ship has been through in the past week, I expected worse. Spirits are low, of course. 2 empty beds with names that won't return. Too many engineers nursing burns and broken bones. But medically, at least, the worst is behind us. The explosions in engineering which took out shields and warp drives, the assassin, the ambush. It's been one hell of a week. Dr. Valencia led the ward round per his usual standards, going patient to patient, and despite his best efforts to maintain that calm clinical detachment, I could tell he was just as relieved as the rest of us that our biggest challenge today is routine care. Lieutenant Commander Leno checked in with trauma patients, ensuring their rehab plans were in place and that they would follow them. Dr. Reed had that usual look on his face, the one that says he's unimpressed by the lack of sleep for the surgical team. And Nautica Knox, our chief of mental health services, made a few pointed recommendations about crew morale conditions that I imagine won't make it to the captain's desk anytime soon. There's still a weight hanging over medbay, but at least some of the stress is gone. The wards feel better, quieter, and Ron Baker and his entourage are not our problem anymore. And while I won't say that out loud, I highly doubt I'm not the only one thinking of it. Julia Moraine is in stage 1 labor, but Dr. Valencia says she still has hours to go. So she'll be sent back to quarters soon. Let's hope her labor is smooth. The father of one Lieutenant Junior Grade Balarabe Kasugu is in our care too. He's a tractor beam engineer in for burns, recovering well and hopefully being recovered enough to be present for the birth of his child. Dr. Valencia also made it official. Dr. Roberts is to take a few days mandatory downtime after his hostage ordeal. I don't blame him. None of us do. Roberts might pretend he's fine, but even Leno looked relieved when the CMO laid down that order, and that's saying something. If Roberts wasn't ordered to rest, he'd never do it. 5:47 a.m. The Odysseus is on its way to Starbase 234 to pick up some crew. 15 men and women who escorted our captured ship back to civilization. Personally, I'm looking forward to a few days off the ship and a chance to catch up with a few associates stationed at the Starfleet medical office there. I have 35 minutes before my interview with Chief Suven, and I plan to spend at least 20 of those getting breakfast and caffeine. Lots of caffeine. Westwood's Chorus, the fan club. That's what the interview is about. I should be nervous, but I can't bring myself to care much right about now. I knew Jacob Westwood once. He was a good man and father until he became a monster in my eyes. Starfleet Jack, on the other hand, wants to know if I was an acolyte, one of his fanboys. Fine, let them ask. It's still a better way to start my day than another hour of babysitting and Ron Baker. At least this will be on time.
And log.
I can't hear you.
That's because I put myself on mute. Having taken myself off mute, it might work better. Right, so Dr. Rob.
Declan, you've gone.
Declan.
Hey, I'm the game master now.
Let's go.
But he's on it, and there's a lot of images, but they are not particularly authentic. You wave your hand through them and it passes through them. And the floor is flat, no matter what you do with it. But it's very good for training, you're told, and they do training things in there with laser guns and so on, and holographic hedges and so on. Absolutely useless for your skiing. The floor's flat. But it was worth a try. So you believe that when you get to Starbase 234, it's supposed to have an artificial ski slope, which sounds very, very good. And
does it have a botanical garden?
Check. Declan, you keep dropping.
Declan. And now he's like to the
Slowly
desk
for
to
me.
determine who's the next game master.
Declan, you keep freezing.
I keep freezing. That's not good.
Yeah,
No, you
just
froze
finished up
twice in
one.
the last 2 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Huh.
And half the thing about the ski slope we missed.
Let me try closing a few windows and see if that works.
Mm.
And then I asked a question and I got no response.
I probably didn't hear it. I'm going to close all the things that are not game related.
Lost my wallet again. I do
Cancel.
that a lot lately. I hate it.
It's amazing how many things are not game related that are running in the background. Things like OneDrive and stuff, right? OneDrive can pause syncing for 28 hours. Sorry, 24 hours.
Question about the starbase. Does it have a botanical garden or a garden of some kind?
It's
Or
definitely got
vegetation?
gardens. It's got quite large gardens. It's a 4-story building, glass front on one side, overfacing a lake, and yes, it's definitely got gardens.
Character likes plants.
Okay, I have closed down everything which doesn't look game related. We'll see if that does the job. And did the officers' lounge load?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, Lincoln Rivera is not there. Lincoln Rivera and Suven have both come down with the flu.
Human
Neither.
Vulcan flu. The Betazoid equivalent and the Vulcan equivalent of the flu.
Yes, and hopefully you should be able to pick up some vaccinations at Starbase 234. You weren't particularly prepared for this particular strain, so you haven't got any on board.
Mm.
You could probably synthesize them, actually, but it's possibly a bit late for them. And as you are sitting in the officers' lounge, you get a comm calling you to the bridge. In fact, let me be precise about this. Andrew, one of your alternative characters is the captain. You have just received a message from Admiral Mbenga would like to talk to you and your senior staff. Who did you actually invite as part of your senior staff?
Oh, my senior staff.
In the ready room.
Let's have a look.
Or actually the
Admiral
conference room. The ready
Mbenga.
room's a bit small.
Dr. Mabenga?
As in the same guy from
Strange New Worlds.
This is an admiral. You've no idea about a guy from Strange New Worlds.
Well, yeah, I know. That is
character.
a Hollis curiosity.
It's a fairly common surname, so.
Who's my first officer?
Your first officer is supporting characters, senior staff, is Reese Lynch.
Reese Lynch. Oh, exec officer. I'll call Reese Lynch in. And what are the other secondaries?
Dr. Valencia too.
CMO.
The chief medical officer, potentially. It would be useful to have some of the PCs in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You might potentially bring the head of nursing and the head of infectious services. I don't know. That would make some degree of sense.
Yeah. Let's go with Bianchi and
Shran.
Shran.
I think is how it's pronounced.
Shran. Yeah.
I can't think why Mike Rendell doesn't make any
in-
sense, and Nick's other character is the helmsman, is it? No. Yeah, I can't see you inviting the helmsman in either.
Moga's the
Sorry, Nick.
tactical officer, but he's not chief of security.
he's just a random person who happens to get a lot of bridge time.
I think it would just be probably department heads.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Sorry, Nick.
My purpose was
That's fine.
you are not quite sure
That just
if
means
it
less danger for me.
has
If you really
coffee or something else, but it's a
Drink.
very large mug.
Beverages are not allowed generally at staff meetings.
Okay, I'm going to use this map. I'm just going to put the people who are in the room over on the right so we can remember who they are. So if I just put them there, they're not actually in the officers' lounge, but it's as good a place as anywhere to keep a track of who's there. So the captain is there. Your first officer is there. Right. Okay. So those four characters, basically, and your first officer. Your first officer's there. So the admiral, you get in there, and the admiral appears on the view screen. Sam, it's been some time. The admiral, by the way, he's human. He's of African descent. You knew him. He was a Commodore when you were serving on what's the name of your previous ship?
My previous ship.
Yeah. When you were the first officer on the name a ship, he was a Commodore.
Oh, it was the
Dunkirk.
The Dunkirk. Yes, the USS Dunkirk. Thank you. Looking for inspiration. Can't find it.
Yeah. Worked a lot of colony support.
Which includes numerous evacuations.
An evacuation ship.
Yeah.
But it makes wonderful sense. Big transport.
Yeah.
I mean, my character could have worked on, say, the USS Hygeia. Goddess of hygiene in Greek mythos.
Damn, perfect.
Yeah. Cool. So, Sam, it's been some time. How are things?
Oh, just plodding along, saving the galaxy, one medical emergency after another. How's it been with you?
Hectic, absolutely hectic. We've got this medical conference on the horizon, and we've got to send invites to the Klingons and the Romulans, and talking to their delegates is fascinating. I've got Starfleet intelligence listening in, making sure I don't give away any secrets, and immediately after every call, I've got a load of non-technical numpties in my office saying, what was all that technical jargon, and were you giving away anything which they wouldn't know? What's the point of having a medical conference if we can't talk about innovation?
Starfleet. What more can I say?
Anyway,
my understanding that security restrictions were lower with medical technology, but in general,
yeah.
Health Starfleet security, that I assume is the.
Well, that incident with the Klingon and the neurotoxin really can't. It hasn't improved things, shall we say?
Yeah, my character winces.
Anyway, I've got some bad news for you. I believe you're on your way to Starbase 234 for a bit of R&R. But we've got an incident in the Triangle, and you're the nearest ship, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
There's something big, really big. You remember that Vija thing of about a decade back? It's bigger than that. This thing is huge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. How could one forget?
But it's slow. The thing we spotted is slow. Look, we've got a listening outpost. Don't say anything, but we've got a listening outpost in the Triangle. We're not supposed to have any facilities out there, but it's only a passive sensor array and a couple of scientists. Nothing major. It picked up something really, really big, moving really, really fast, as these things go.
Big and fast. Okay, that's not good. Big and fast is never good.
Well,
Was there anything identified on it?
I say fast. In actual fact, it's kind of slow. It's going something like 0.989 light.
So
Which
for a
you-
natural object, it's traveling at screaming speed. As starships go, not so fast.
Yeah.
The first warp drive pilot by Geoff from
Barely
Cochrane
warp
was-
one.
over warp 1, wasn't it?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. It's like 1 point something. I can't remember what.
1-1. I want to say someone told me at one point. I don't know where they got the number from.
Where's
And
it heading?
Well, that's the thing. It's heading straight into Federation space. It's heading through the triangle, which obviously is neutral territory, but it's heading directly into Federation space. Bear with me. The GM is looking for something in his notes. Hang on. I've got in the player's notes.
I consider myself rather ethical, actually.
Yeah, it's actually going 0.9897 C. Yeah, at least according to
You've
my
gone
records,
again, Declan.
inhabited. I could hear
You froze again, Declan.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's heading directly for Draka, which, according to my notes, is inhabited. That's worrying. Of course, having said that it's heading straight for Draka, its current speed, it'll get there in 38 years.
We've got some time then.
Something else on its way?
Not really. There is a thing that's over 100 kilometers long, traveling at close to the speed of light through neutral territory. Everybody's going to want to have a look at that thing, and you're the nearest ship. I'm really sorry about this, but I need you to go and look.
Is that all? Do you don't want us? Do you want me to just report back then on just what it is we have? I mean, if it's intelligent life, do you want me to make contact?
Okay, let me tell you what we know. It is traveling at close to the speed of light. It is decelerating, or accelerating if you like, in the opposite direction of the way it's going. And based on its rate of deceleration, it will be stopped when it gets to Draka. It's heading straight for a planet in Federation space.
Okay.
And
So
because it's heading through
does-
neutral territory, the Romulans, the Klingons, the Orions, and everybody else is going to have a look at that thing when they realize it's there. So I want you there first. I want you figuring out what's going on. And if it's decelerating, then it's under power. Let's be honest. Nothing is going to reach nearly the speed of light without some intervention.
There are natural phenomena that travel travel at significant percentages of light speed, but
they're rare.
They're also very energetic and not
they
large.
They don't tend to be 100 kilometers long and 8 kilometers across.
No.
Oh, and the listening post said there are life signs from it.
That makes things extra interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll set an intercept course and we'll get there as soon as possible.
Yeah. One other thing. I don't know if this is going to work, but when you've investigated it, can you go and have a look at Draka as well? I'd like to know why it's heading to Draka.
Okay. Yeah. Certainly.
Cool.
I'll even ask what the entity or the object wants with Draka, and see. Yeah, I'll leave it with me. No problem.
Okay. Can I just ask you to I'd like a private word with you as well. Can you clear your ready room?
Sure.
I need to check with my lab.
Please.
Anyway.
I'm going to go back to my food. It's probably
Mm.
cold by now. Damn it.
Yeah, did you ever say have anything to say that isn't a complaint?
Yes.
That doesn't count.
Okay.
Right. We are alone.
Okay, Sam, when was the last time you had a first contact situation? Have you done a first contact?
I want to say yes.
It's probably been a while, I
But-
would have thought. Look, Sam,
Yeah.
there's life signs, and if it's going less than light, it's probably pre-warp. First, prime directive applies, so just be careful, okay?
Mm.
This is one of the top brass are going to be looking at it if it's first contact, especially with something this major. Just cross your T's, make sure you don't do anything stupid, and make sure you log it.
Yep. Of course. I'll keep my crew in check. Thank you. Yeah. Much appreciated. I'll keep you informed. Kennedy out.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the hospital ship Odysseus. Her mission, to heal the wounded, to aid the vulnerable, and to uphold the ideals of the Federation. On the borders of Federation space, in regions fraught with danger and opportunity, she boldly ventures to kindle hope on strange new worlds.
Mm.
Okay,
I see the
you have.
giants.
It's big. It's really big. You eventually arrive at the bit of the triangle where this ship is supposed to be. It
Hmm.
it is huge. I mean, the Odysseus is 280 meters long. This thing is about 10 kilometers long
What?
and 8 kilometers across.
So it'd be like a pebble to a mountain,
Not quite, but it's
pebble to a very large hill.
Yeah. Well, actually, probably more a pebble to a
Oh,
a
jeez.
minibus or something.
That's huge.
That's massive.
It is indeed massive.
Yeah. Moga is scanning this thing and trying to figure out if I have to shoot it, where do I shoot it?
When you say you
Yeah,
scan
see
it,
if they
do you
think-
mean you're using the ship sensors to scan it, or do you mean that you are just visually looking at it?
Well, somebody's doing a sensor scan. Moga's just looking at it and going, where do I, if I have
Aim for
to,
the engines, dummy. The whole
where are
thing.
the engines?
Try the opposite end of the end that's going towards the planet.
So yeah, can we match speed and course and hold an altitude of 20,000 kilometers?
No, as it turns out.
No.
Your impulse engines, I'm going to assume you're about the same speed as the Enterprise in the motion picture. So your impulses top out at about half the speed of light. And beyond that, you just basically do not generate enough energy to keep it, to actually accelerate beyond that point. Warp speed, the minute you engage
Ooh.
warp, you go to like the speed of light.
We're going past it.
So you are slowly, very slowly overtaking the thing. Although, to be quite honest, it's
Okay. Ooh. We have to engage the engines and cut them off, let it overtake, cut them, put them back in. Can we get a scan though?
yeah, of course you can get a scan.
Yeah, ship scan.
I think that's my character's job.
In fact, what I will do, configure ownership, all players observers, save changes, show players. I'm just going to remove all players and remove the camera because I don't want this popping up on the camera. There we go. So, yes, you probably get the science department to do the scans. It takes them about 2 hours to come back with a full report on what they can find. It's definitely got life signs on board. It's also, by the looks of it, got large internal bodies of water, and the thing is rotating around. It's not actually got a perfect line of symmetry because it's asymmetric, but it's sort of long and cylindrical, and it's rotating. It's rotating fast enough that on the outer surface there would be about 0.3 of effective gravity, just due to the Coriolis effect as it spins.
So somebody got an O'Neill cylinder hot started and in first gear.
Yeah. Also, it appears to have an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere in there.
Could we breathe it?
Yeah, with a 22% oxygen. Yeah. I'm just reading the report, and it says the vessel maintains a stable, breathable atmosphere composed primarily of nitrogen, oxygen, and traces. So yeah, we could just.
That's what
You
your
what, sorry,
senses
Declan?
suggest.
Ah, okay.
I mean, this is all that your senses have suggested.
Hmm. Okay, it also says life signs over 8,000 humanoid.
Doing a quick estimate, you would say if it's 100 kilometers long and 8 kilometers wide, then the surface area inside is going to be about 2,500 square kilometers, which is about half the size of Rhode Island, or slightly larger than West Yorkshire, if that helps you.
Yeah. Jeez.
This Rhode Island is the smallest state.
It's still big.
I'm aware.
I'm talking about the ship.
I mean, I'm.
Have we tried hailing it?
I was just about to say that. Should we make some contacts? Send out a hailing frequency and just see if we can get a response back.
Do you want to make before you do that, do you want to make a sensor roll on behalf of the science team? So your science team are pretty good. We're going to say that they've got an 11 in their stat and a 4 in their skill. And they're going to get an assist from the ship.
Okay. They will get an assist from ship. So who do I roll for then?
Let me just put the threat in. We should have started with 8 threat and no momentum because you only got 4 players. You probably just use the dice roll thing on the left-hand side. That'll do the job. Where you've got the Vulcanidic sign or the live long and prosper thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can use that and just...
The oneness sign thing's fine.
Oh, perform challenge. Number of dice, 2. It just says that's all I've got.
Oh.
I haven't got any options.
Vulcan salute down near the bottom, no? STA roller?
Yeah.
And if
Dice
you
roll.
choose if you choose the top one, which should be a sort of D20 for perform task.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. It's behind the... There we go. Okay. So attribute systems, attributes. What do you want for that one? Top one?
11.
11.
Department
Disciplines.
4.
4.
Yep, discipline 4.
Focuses, dedication.
They've got a focus, yes. They do not have a dedicated focus.
Yeah, tick.
And
number of dice in pool.
2.
Just
because
2.
Unless you want to give me some threat.
No, I don't want to give you any threat just yet. Not just yet. Right, there we go.
No need to encourage Declan.
And I better give you the roll from the ship as well. So the ship is also doing this with 1 die.
Oh, I'll have that. So
you've got
4
4
successes altogether.
Right, well, in that case, you've suddenly got some momentum. You've got 2 momentum.
Nice.
And your science team have picked up 2 other ships. There is a ship literally geometrically the other side of this thing. You've picked up a center echo. You can't see what it is because there is a thing in the way. And there is a ship trailing somewhere behind you that looks like... see if I can do this. I want to try and show you an image. If I do...
Well, there's a little ship that's just popped up.
That's not good.
Did that do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of shape.
A wanderer class.
Well, we don't know anything about it.
You do know it's under a class. That's one of the Orion ships that you have heard about. So
Cattle prong.
So there's clearly an Orion ship trailing it, and there is a ship you can't see the far side.
But they are staying with it, are they?
Well, actually, they're slowly catching it up. They're going at precisely the speed of light.
Okay.
Warp 1.
Warp 1. Yeah, let's...
In fact, all 3 ships are going warp 1, which is slightly faster than this thing.
Slightly annoying. Let's do a hailing frequency and just see if we can get a response back then.
Who are you hailing? The big thing?
Yeah, if we can pinpoint our hailing frequencies over to it.
Okay. While you're doing that, yeah. Okay. Steven's not around to do the hailing, so one of the support staff will leap on comms, probably Leslie Anderkin, since she is part of his team, and try and open a hailing frequency. She tries several times. No response, sir.
Helm, plot an intercept course. Yeah, no. I don't know what else. Can we hail the ships, the 2 ships?
Yeah.
I want to see who they are, identify themselves.
It will be easier to hail the second ship or the third ship if you could get a line of sight to them. Otherwise, you're trying to send a signal through this thing.
Okay.
But
Let's
hailing the Orion ship is easy.
let's do that one first and just see if it is actually the Orions on that ship, or unless it's been commandeered. So yeah, if I can just get them to identify themselves.
Yeah, you hail the Orion ship, and moments later, Captain Mortan answers the hail. Federation ship, this is Captain Mortan. What can I do for you?
Captain Morton, this is Captain Samantha Kennedy of the USS Odysseus. Yeah, just wondering what it is you're doing here.
We're
Pardon my
having a look.
bluntness.
We spotted this fascinating thing, and we thought we'd swing by and have a look.
Yeah, same here. Have you managed to make any sort of contact or?
Oh, we
Anything
wouldn't try
like-
anything like that. We're merely humble merchants, and out of curiosity, we thought we'd swing by, but only as a. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? So it's purely some degree of interest. I don't think it's worth contacting them. They might turn hostile or something, or it could be a creature. I don't know. I'm finding it very interesting.
Does look very creature-esque, doesn't it? Okay. Well, if your intentions are, what should we say? Yeah, we shall bid you good day, and don't do anything we wouldn't do. And I'll wave it to cut the transmission.
Your humble merchant, by the way, is flying a vessel with a rapid fire photon torpedo launcher and an array of energy weapons. It's
Do
also,
they have their
He
shields up?
hasn't done anything
No,
we can
no.
arrest you for. Well, we don't have jurisdiction anyway.
yeah, but that doesn't look like a humble merchant to you.
No. Yeah, tactical. Can we just keep an eye on them? Just make sure they're not powering their weapons or anything like that. Just keep an eye on them.
Humble merchant, my rear end.
Yes, I know. Can we just move the ship so we can get line of sight with the other one on the other side?
Yeah, of course you can. As soon as you can get line of sight, you can see it looks. Bear with me. Bit like I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drag it to the map and then enlarge it. So it looks kind of like that. No, it's a smaller pop out.
That's fine. You can see it. Yeah. Ooh. Do we
Klingon?
know anything about this ship? Does it look Klingon?
Yeah, it looks Klingon. It's got a long boom and a sort of triangular shape bridge section. It is classic Klingon design. But you're not familiar with it. You've not actually seen this class of ship before.
Okay.
You can immediately see that it's about 260 meters long, putting it a little bit shorter than the Odysseus. But beyond that, you don't know.
Okay. Can we send out a hailing frequency for them and just see if they would respond?
Yes, yeah, the comms open. Federation, I am Captain Kortash. Is this your doing?
Kortash, hello. My name is Captain Samantha Kennedy. No, this is not our doing. We were merely in the area, and we had some sensor reports about this object that's moving sub-warp. So we decided to take a look.
This beast is not yours returning home.
Oh,
It
no.
is going back to Federation space.
No, it's nothing to do. This is not our doing. We're just curious as to why it's heading into Federation space.
If it is not
Can you-
yours, it is a danger.
Okay. I'm just inquiring as to what your
Intentions.
intentions. I was gonna, motivations, intentions. Yeah, that's better. What are your intentions here?
We have hailed the thing, and it has not responded. We are proposing. My engineers have proposed that we place demolitions on its exterior and demolish it.
Oh no, no, no! I don't think that that would be of any good to anybody. We don't know what it is. It just could be a giant bomb.
Or it
You
could
know,
be
it
a
could be
danger to us all.
Well, if it's a danger to us all and it's heading towards Federation space, why are you so interested?
He is passing very close to the Klingon Empire. Very close.
Yes, but again, it's not going towards you. It's going towards a Federation planet. So, yeah, again, what are your intentions here?
To examine this thing. It is in open space. We have as much claim as you.
Mhm.
Perhaps we
Okay.
might loot it for weapons.
I don't. Okay. I'll turn to my officers and just suggestions. Suggestions. What? Do we
need to
believe
stop
him?
them from exploding it.
Sorry, I didn't catch that,
If
Hessie.
Ryan's right, there's a bunch of people on there.
Yeah. I mean, do we want to actually tell him that there's life forms on it?
Mhm.
We
The
do.
chances are he knows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
possible they haven't scanned it,
Since it's
but
headed well, since it's headed into Federation space and not Klingon and it's headed into into Federation space and only near Klingon space, I think we've got a better right to be curious about this thing than he does.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Agreed.
sure any demolition charges, and given its size, unless the thing is more volatile than the scans are showing, I don't think their demolition charges would do much more than scratch the paint
Metaphorically speaking.
if it's painted. I can't even figure out where to shoot it if I need to shoot it.
And I'm the engineer. I've got nothing on where you would shoot.
In the eyes. Always shoot it in the eyes.
you do notice that this thing is actually coming down from above the galactic plane. So most stars are effectively in an approximate plane. There's some above, some below, but the galaxy is sort of flat-ish, and this thing is coming down from above the galactic plane.
It's a
So-
fried egg.
So I'm going to bring up
okay.
the triangle map.
The galactic version of sea level.
It's a fried
So
egg.
it's actually come in somewhere around here,
Mm.
and is going to enter
Sorry,
Federation
planet
space over
map.
here. Hang on. Can people see that?
Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
So
it's
you're
really
fairly close to Turnstile, Workday, Freeload, etc. are all Orion. So hence it is pretty close to Orion space as well, and Klingon space and Federation space. But it is heading towards Federation space.
Okay, I'll talk back to the Klingon. What was his name again?
Potash.
Yeah, I don't think it's in anybody's interest if you start shooting at it. There is another ship, an Orion ship that is slightly behind us, but yeah, it's I don't think they would be too pleased about it blowing up if you try to do that. So can you please not?
We will think on this. Could I shout? He closes the comms.
How rude. Bloody Klingons. Oh, okay.
I thought I had a hasty trigger finger.
Yeah. Can we keep an eye on them as well? Do they have any shields raised? Do they have their weapons armed?
They have got their shields raised,
Okay. I'm okay with that.
but their weapons don't appear to be armed.
Okay. Right. I mean, can we teleport to it? I mean, Sorry, Cassie, we can't hear you.
Sit
I
up.
said transport. It's a transporter. We're not teleporting.
We're not Nightcrawler.
Can we beam over there? There we go.
It's an interesting question. You definitely can't beam at warp. So you would need to drop to impulse to do that, in which case it's going very fast compared to you. So your chief engineer agrees to go and have a look at it and work out if it is feasible to beam over. Meanwhile, the chief of science, whose name is Chris somebody or other, I can't remember, you were looking at his report. He says, looking at the player's handout, I've completely forgotten the name of your science officer's name. Chris Jackson suggests that he forwards the details to Starfleet.
Okay.
At this point, because you are far enough from Starbase 234, it'll take the message about sort of 16, 17 minutes to reach them, and 16, 17 minutes for a response.
Yeah. How far are we away from what was the place called? Draken?
It's going to
planet?
take like 38 years to stop at Draken.
Oh, yeah.
You are 13 light years from Draken.
Okay.
Which will take you 9 days, 8 hours, and 34 minutes at maximum warp. Sorry, at warp 8.
What do we know about that planet?
Okay, Draken. What do you know about Draken? In the database, it was visited by a survey. It looks like it was a Tellarite survey mission. They recorded it as pre-warp, some inhabitants, not a potential Federation candidate, no minerals of interest, warrants further investigation, recommend sending a survey team. And that was 23 years ago, and nobody sent a survey team since.
What level of technological advancement were they at?
Mid 17th century?
Oh,
Medieval.
okay.
17th.
17th century.
Yeah.
So that's
They're just
1600s, isn't it?
They were
Yeah.
just about time on the brink of the Industrial Revolution.
No, it's not. It's the fact that I've got 450k.
Okay. Can we relay that our current findings back to Starfleet?
All I need is a hex.
Yeah, of course you can. And so you're going to send basically the scientist report and the visions of this thing.
Yeah, and also the fact that we've got Klingon and Orion company.
Okay. Meanwhile, your chief engineer, along with help from various other members of the engineering team, is going to start working on a solution for getting you over. And the Klingons and the Orions don't seem to be doing very much. They're just following this thing and every now and again dropping back because they've overtaken it.
I'm. Sorry, go on, Declan. That's all right.
No. What were you going to do? Because it's going to take.
I was going to say. I was going to say, how do we actually get it to slow down so that we don't have to keep doing this? I mean, can we just not? Can we just get in the way of it and
Well, it
just
is slowing down.
slow ourselves?
It's slowing
Oh, I know,
down
but
at
faster.
at 0.02 G. So it'll be stopped in 38 years.
Okay. How long is it going to take to get to impulse?
Half of that.
Can we not slow it down? Can we just like?
It's going to take 30 minutes for Starfleet to respond, and it's going to take about 30 minutes for Chief Engineer Hendricks to start coming up with a solution. Maybe an hour for him to come up with a solution as to how you can get over to the thing. Hollis, you can read this after the session, but Lieutenant Commander Mel Henderson will come back with his proposal as to how to get you onto the ship. So configure ownership, all players, observers, show players, and show the camera. There we go. So his recommendation, because you can't match warp speed with it, either with the shuttle or with the Odysseus, you're going to have to beam over. There is the issue that you'll be beaming either from a ship moving at impulse or a ship that's stationary. A ship that is stationary is more predictable, but you're going to have to be very, very precise when you beam over, because if you're out by 1 microsecond, that's a distance of 300 kilometers out.
You're going to end up with like half your head in the stars.
So you are looking at nanosecond preciseness. If it's within 10 nanoseconds, that's probably okay. The other big problem is to get 6 man-sized objects, assuming 80 kilos per man, up to 0.989 of the speed of light would take 1.3 times 10 to the 20 joules, which is about the same as 32 megatons of energy.
Ooh.
And the only thing you've got that can generate that much power that quickly, or that much energy that quickly, is a matter-antimatter explosion. So he's proposed a way of finally controlling the amount of antimatter in a photon torpedo, detonating it, and redirecting the energy into the stream, into the transporter stream. What's the problem with that is if he underestimates it, then you might lose some mass in the process of being transferred. And if you overestimate it, you might end up with far too much energy at the point where you arrive. But that's his proposal. It's purely theoretical, but there's a first time for everything. Over the next hour, you've contacted Starfleet, you've sent them the details, they get back and say something along the lines of, we'd like you to, if possible, investigate the ship and get a team on board. We also want you to investigate the planet it is destined for.
Well, it looks like we're
That's
about
good.
to violate RPG rule number 1.
Don't split the team.
Don't you know? You never split the party.
Well, it's not too bad because you all have multiple characters.
Very true.
The Starfleet have also got a proposal. Because it is going at 0.9897 of the speed of light, you are looking at a time dilation of effect of about 1 to 7, 1 to 7.5. So you could beam a team over, they could spend 3 days on the ship. In the meantime, the Odysseus could go to the destination planet, have a look around, spend 3 days there, and come back. And then you could meet up here in what for the Odysseus is 21 days, and for the people on the generation ship is 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to take, well, you said like 9 days to actually get their maximum warp. So, okay. Should we do this near warp beam then?
Well, I mean, it's a stationary beam. You need to get ahead of the ship, plan it.
Oh, so so it goes past us. Yeah, I get
Yeah, he
it.
said ideally you want to do it from a stationary platform. Oh, there is one other thing, which is given that being out by 10 nanoseconds is going to be a displacement of about 3 meters, and he doesn't want to embed you in a bulkhead, he would recommend that he transports you to the largest chamber that they've scanned and 3 meters above the floor. And that way, if you're 3 meters out, it doesn't matter too much.
Tumbling down on our asses.
Yeah, we're gonna fall.
It's 0.3 G.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll just float.
Am I the only one in this room that has seen Star Trek V?
Yes.
No,
I've not seen it.
Yeah. I'm thinking of those gravity belts.
How heavy are gravity belts? Star Trek V is now, yes. It's that this year. So if gravity belts exist, they yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I assumed they existed because if they're, and we could probably have one.
Hang on, Star Trek V, isn't it rocket boots?
Rocket
Spock's got
boots,
rocket
whatever.
boots. Yeah.
Yeah, the one Spock used to, tease Kirk when he was climbing the mountain.
He teased him when he was climbing a mountain.
I
Yes,
reckon it's going to cost you a couple of points of momentum for those. So yeah, you can find some gravity boots.
Well, I'm just thinking transport, wait, it's 0.3 G. Falling 3 meters at 0.3 G isn't bad, but just in case.
If you ever want to put your time into perspective, the same year that Star Wars came out, the first Star Wars movie came out, the last execution in France by guillotine was carried out.
Okay. That's kind of surprising, but
Oh, okay.
Also, Oxford University is older than the Mayans.
Oxford University is older than calculus.
And older than calculus. I hate calculus.
I can believe that because calculus isn't that old.
Okay, here's another. We're getting off topic, aren't we?
A little.
Well, here's a thing for you. The Appalachian Mountains are older than bones. Yeah.
They're both going to be pretty old. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. The Appalachian Mountains first formed before vertebrate life.
Cool. I like that. Right. So you have a proposal for how to get on board. And the scientific team are going to have a go at this. And they're going to design it. And then your transporter chief is going to do their very best to
Ben's over
implement
there
it.
in one piece.
Yeah.
And buy lots of extra dice. So
Uh,
that begs the question of who's going on the thing and who's staying on the ship.
okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page in the player's handout section called Crew Divide. And I'm going to make a note of who's going on which location. So, generation ship and planet. Okay, running through the characters in the order that they exist in the system. Primary characters. Dr. Glenn Roberts. Is he staying
He's
on
on
ship?
medical leave.
Am I on
Uh,
medical leave?
He's on trauma leave.
Yeah, you haven't done any work for the last couple of weeks because you have been on enforced rest. But I don't see a reason why you can't come off rest because this is interesting if you want to. Also, I would
Yeah, I
suggest
feel.
that the captain is more likely to stay with the ship.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The captain would stay with the ship, and I'm trying to think of a reason why Glenn would actually come. But yeah,
It's fine. You don't need to take Glenn. We can take any sporting character. You can create a sporting character for this.
no, because he's got his focuses are biology and xenobiology, so he'll be really curious about this.
As a xenobiologist, yes, you are really, really curious about this.
Yeah, so yeah, I've popped. Oh, there's no explanation on that, so that's fine. But yeah, I think Roberts would come. Would
Okay.
transport.
Kennedy Bianchi.
Would come
Which
because if her guess is right and this looks like it might be some sort of generation ship, they might have plants. She likes plants.
okay.
The character's guess as to what this was before it was confirmed, to the players at least, that this was a generation ship, was this was some sort of generation or cryo ship.
Lincoln Rivera. I would suggest that where the medics go, Lincoln goes.
Okay. Yeah, he is a tendency to throw himself into danger headlong.
We need.
without a second thought.
Yeah, we don't know what's over there, so I think some sort of security would be good.
Prudent.
Yeah, would be nice.
Okay. Mike Rendell.
Engineer.
I'm an engineer, so I don't know. Would it make more sense for me to go on the ship or?
I could see it making sense for you to play a secondary character who's a teleport specialist or transporter specialist. Do we
Who's
have
your second?
My
Nick?
secondary is the helmsman.
the helmsman like to stay on the ship as well, but we can always introduce additional sporting characters if we want to. And you do have a you've got Jenna Johnson, who's a transporter specialist.
Dead, isn't she?
Did
No,
we
she
find
was.
her?
Oh, she's not dead, but she's on Starbase 234, waiting for you to go and recover her. No, she's on new.
Is it Aberdeen?
Aberdeen. Yes, new
Was it
Aberdeen. So you haven't
yeah.
recovered her yet. She's on the wrong. She's not actually on the ship.
You've gone, Declan.
So forget that.
Yeah. We
I don't know. I guess probably a new supporting character then I think would make more sense.
Okay. In which case, both of your characters would be with the ship.
Yeah.
How about the first officer, Nick? How about Reese Lynch?
That could be interesting. Do you want to play the first officer?
You know what? Yeah,
first
that sounds good.
officers do lead a lot of away teams.
Okay. Well, the question then is, hang on. I'm going to suggest that Sharon would find it very interesting on the generation ship.
I was
Also,
just thinking Moga would be more likely to stay on the ship. He's the tactical officer.
So we can shoot things?
Find its
trust
weakness.
me, he's been keeping one finger. His hand is about half a step from fragging the Klingons. Give him an excuse, please.
He does not like Klingons.
No, it just hasn't gotten to blow anything up in months.
Well,
Okay,
it's that
you
ship. What did you expect, Moga?
you have the facility to take 6 people. So who are you bringing with you to the generation ship?
Um,
So you've got the medical side covered pretty well. You've got security side covered pretty well. Let me just have a quick look at the first officer's skills.
We need science and engineering.
yeah, I mean, this thing's some sort of bio ship, right?
Yeah.
The first officer's skill sets, his focuses are leadership, starship tactics, Federation history, and politics.
We need a
He's
red
actually
leader.
really, really useful if you happen to encounter alien life there and need to talk to them.
We need a grease monkey.
You need a grease monkey.
We need an engineer.
Well, in that case, we could have Rendell then, can't we?
Oh,
I quite like the idea of having the first officer there. Transporter specialist. I mean, you lost a transporter technician, but there must be a transporter chief. Oh no!
We need a-
You want the transporter chief to operate the transporter when you go.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you don't want him stood on the pad. You want him stood at the controls.
The best guy on the pad.
that would be funny though.
Do we have to take 6?
It makes sense. You're not going to get any additional people. You could bring one of the many security guards.
I almost say get a security guard.
Hmm.
We don't want to seem too overpowering, though. We don't want to scare them. You know, it could be literally like.
You think that
what's the word?
6 is significantly more scary than 5?
Not really.
No, I'm thinking of like people turning up with guns. You know, we
I
are
mean, 6
medical,
is
but we've got
20% bigger than 5.
Isn't one of the security officers like
20%.
5'4"? Take what was their name? Mitchell or something. Can't remember their name.
Take a short guy.
Take a short one. Take one that's like my height.
Right.
Real
Craig
life.
left us
My
many
character
notes on
in
them.
game is about 6'2". And towers over everyone.
Right. Team member notes. Divorced mother of 3 motherly. No. No. Nigerian.
Yeah. My character's name, literally, if you look at all the meanings, means hard-headed, hard-helmeted white. Which is kind of funny.
Hmm.
You could bring the Cation security person. They'll be fairly short. The Cation.
Yeah.
And
In
Catwalk.
that way, it's not a whole in that way, some of us are human and some of us are not.
Okay.
No, xenophobic towards.
So,
Hmm.
I think you pronounce it Husuri, I think. Oh, okay. So you have one security officer, Husuri, which means everybody else is going to the planet. Cool. Okay. Let's have the chief engineer roll for this, for actually transporting you over with assistance from the ship. Does somebody want to open up the chief engineer? That's Mel Henderson.
I'll be back in just a second.
Oh, what do you need?
No, it's time for pills.
Would
I'll do it.
Henderson roll?
After secondary.
It's going to be
You said again.
control engineering.
Ba-ba-bum-bum-bum.
Nice to see.
Are you using your momentum to get some extra dice here?
Ooh, I would say so, yeah. Whoever's rolling, yeah. How much momentum have we got?
Okay, you need to time it precisely. So you need to fire a photon torpedo with just the right amount of antimatter to time it so that it is the right nanosecond to activate the transporter that it explodes, and you need to channel that power through the transporter beam to provide the energy required. So
Right. Okay, interesting. Would one of Mer Henderson's focuses warp the warp field dynamics? Pre-warp technology.
warp field dynamics, you're not at warp. Power systems, I would go with power systems.
Power system. And then I'll use one momentum to buy one dice.
Okay, cool.
You want me to roll for the ship, Declan?
Yeah, if you can. And that is going to be
Weapons?
No. I think it's communications for transporter beams.
Okay.
Engineering,
And an engineering. Communication engineering. Okay.
one dice.
Yep. Oh, yeah, you can have a success.
Alright. Now let me roll. Hey,
3
that's pretty good.
successes. Cool.
That's 4 successes in total.
4
Nice.
successes in total. Cool. Okay, there is only. Well, first of all, before you transport, there is a weight limit because you need every bit of energy possible. So, what are you bringing with you? You will need to bring some transporter beacons because you will need those for getting back. So 3 of you are carrying transporter beacons, which is basically your entire load. The other 3 can carry about 5 kilos of stuff.
My character has medical and survival equipment in a pack on her back.
Okay.
That's not 5 kilos.
I
Probably some other
suppose I'm.
stuff that anybody else wants her to shove in the pack.
And you've also got to remember that when you arrive, if things follow the plan, it's going to be 72 hours before pickup.
Yes.
Well,
Water, all
it's
that.
going to be 3 weeks, but 72 hours as you experience it.
So we're talking MREs.
She's got
What's an MRE?
several MRE.
Military rations.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Several packs
those
of
be good.
rations are shoved in, medical equipment, some survival stuff, a Type 2 phaser,
Change of pants.
some
Okay.
a spare set of clothes for herself. If any of you could squeeze into my clothes, I'd be impressed.
So that's everybody's got type 2 phases. You're carrying all of them, or the 3 people who
I'm
are carrying
carrying
equipment are.
6 Type 2 phasers.
No, you're not carrying 6 Type 2.
Well, for the other people.
It might make sense for everybody carrying equipment to carry 2, and then you can, if you get separated, then all the type 2 phases haven't disappeared with one person.
Yeah, everybody who's carrying something that isn't a transporter beacon get 2 phasers. That way you can hand a Type 2 to one of the people who's carrying a transporter beacon when we get there.
Yep. I guess, yeah, a couple days of combat rations and my Ushantor.
As well as probably some medical supplies.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming at least one of the medical people should be carrying a medical tricorder and
Medical tricorder
and a field and a med kit.
Yeah. Field
Okay.
med kit.
So
The
basically, weight
transport-
limit. I think you've got 1 med kit, 6 phasers, food, 1 tricorder.
Yeah, I think
This is
That sounds good.
unrelated, but my character actually, like, in game stands at about 6'2".
Yes, you're tall. You said that
Yeah,
already
sorry.
twice.
Yeah, they've allocated about 85 kilos per person.
Okay.
I don't know why I decided to give her, like, Honor Harrington stature, but
Stay on topic, kiddo.
Okay, so you're on the pad. It activates just as you beam out. You see the transporter console burst into flames. However, you do suddenly arrive in darkness.
What kind of condition does he have?
flashlights, everybody.
Yep.
did we bring any?
Um,
Tricorders would
I
flash
didn't
as
think of that, did we?
flashlights. The tricorders would work as
Yeah.
flashlights, right?
Do they?
I think they do.
Yeah. My character
And-
wordlessly pulls
no
out
idea what
somewhere a medical pen light.
If not, then we made a grave mistake immediately right off the bat.
Medical
Nice.
pen light is something she typically carries because she's got to look at, like, some very interesting things sometimes.
What? What are you
Um,
rolling for, Declan?
you arrive in darkness.
Oh.
There is a splash as one of you drops into water. The others drop onto something a little bit firmer. It feels soft and spongy beneath your feet.
Who fell in the water?
Who takes a bath?
I don't know. So there are 5 of you.
Rollies. Who
No,
rolled-
there's 6 of you.
rolled?
I really need a random person generator.
Assign us a number and then roll for 1 through 6.
Well, yeah, that would be good.
I'm just having a look who actually went. Oh, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Right. I will use a d6.
Yep.
2.
2. That's Kennedy Bianchi. Or Kennedy.
You hear a squawk
Well-
as she goes into the water.
When I wrote her name, I missed the letter out. Let's give her that missing letter.
Damn it!
I'm sure she's.
And it's probably cold.
I
Oh.
hate frostbite, I hate frostbite, I hate frostbite!
There is a splash. You initially think it's water, and then it starts to burn. And it's in darkness. Thankfully, it's only about knee deep, but whatever you're in is burning quite hot.
Burns. Little
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
catch that, Cassie.
Yeah. No. Tron turns on a flashlight and starts looking for her.
going for the shore, but, like, it's the fudge, which is
Okay.
hampered by burning feeling.
In the darkness, there is suddenly a glint of light. You sort of spin round, and you can see that Sean is stood on a small island, maybe 5 meters from you, or 5
I
yards if
am-
you prefer.
Yes. I am swimming I immediately begin swimming towards Sean.
Only knee deep. You don't need to swim. I mean, you can if you want, but
I stand up and wade towards him, booking it.
Yeah, I'm looking around. Well, while she's doing that, I'm looking around. Where are we?
you're in some sort of fairly large chamber. There are pipes isn't the right term because they are organic looking and they are sort of rippling as they as if muscles are squeezing and contracting to push stuff along them.
Ugh.
Why do I have
It's-
a feeling?
the-
What's it smell like?
There are little spores floating around all over the place. It looks like this isn't so much an island as a sort of outcrop because there is a sort of thin jetty running back towards a larger piece of land.
It's squishy, isn't it?
It is quite squishy whenever you stood on.
Yeah. Kennedy kind of sits down, hikes up one of her legs when she gets over there, and looks at her leg and checks for chemical burns.
Put your leg down.
Yeah. She sits down, hikes her leg up, hikes her pant leg up, and looks at her leg and checks for chemical burns.
It's definitely burnt. In fact, the stuff that's still on it is still burning. And it's quite sort of glutinous.
Well, I think the only thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to get her out of that uniform and get her cleaned up.
Yeah, there's the fairly immediate removal of the lower half of her uniform. Possibly the top half too, if it's got shit on it.
Shran, if you're sort of dealing with her, this is definitely triage.
Oh yeah, I need to sit up and roll things. I definitely have triage.
I don't think
Yeah.
you really need to roll for stripping down.
Well, I'm also treating the chemical burns.
Yeah.
Damn it. I hate chemical burns. They're a pain in the ass.
Cassie, language.
It's a secret, but it's rarer than the
And
Yep, a focus. You can use a focus.
yep.
And the GM is
And-
now heading to MS OneNote because they forgot to copy some of the notes out of it.
Okay, what
Probably
reason?
yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Probably reason and medicine.
Sounds reasonable. Yep.
And there's definitely a focus on the table. I don't think we need to roll extra. I don't think I need extra dice for this.
Don't think so.
Oh,
That's actually 2 successes.
That's
yeah,
not
nice.
How many did he need to roll?
bad.
plus.
Okay.
Most of
It's a DC 0 for cleaning it up, but it was a DC 1 for information. As
Okay.
you clean it up, the stuff that's on her legs, actually, you're still going to have a value of burns, but that'll go fairly quickly. The stuff that was on her legs is quite thick. It's amber coloured. You're fairly sure, looking at it, that it's some sort of biocatalytic compound, probably a digestive enzyme.
We're in
Yeah.
waste
Bile.
disposal, aren't we?
If it's a biological organism, it's got to have a way to dispose of waste. We're in the sewers, folks.
Oh.
No, you get a feeling this is part of its digestive system. It rather than
Oh,
destroying waste, you've got a feeling that this is where it absorbs food.
Recycle.
Mm.
Yeah, because
oh, it's
if
stomach.
it's no, it's a bioship, but it's a closed loop.
Oh,
It's got to have. We're basically in its equivalent of like recycling or even a compost heap.
yeah.
And now we look for the exit.
Okay. Yeah, it's a large chamber. Your light barely reaches to the ceiling. Finding an exit might take a little while, but assuming you don't want to go in the liquid, there is one obvious route.
My character mutters, "At least I have spare pants."
I think we just go towards the there's an obvious exit.
Well, there's one
It's
obvious
just-
route. You basically follow the land bit if you're not going to wade through the enzymes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I
Brought
think that's what
later.
we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
I don't think
Who's
any of us
leading-
expect.
Who's leading this little group?
Not
First
the girl
officer.
who's still putting new pants on. And
The first
underwear.
officer.
TMI.
Nick, have you got access to the first officer's character? Or do I need to
To
share it with
these,
you?
yeah, I've got access to these. Sometimes I have access to.
Sometimes you have access to the character.
Yeah, like the one time I needed to roll for my Kendall, I had him, then it went away. So I don't have it right now. So though.
You frozen again, Declan.
And sometimes you don't know. Save
Nope.
changes. Everybody should have ownership of him.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So when you say leading this group, is he leading authoritatively or is he leading in the front? As in, who is actually walking at the front?
Would he be leading? I mean, he is like a full executive. I guess it would make sense that he's leading in the front.
Okay.
Right.
Has he got any sort of? Well, he hasn't got any survival focuses or anything like that. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's insight
Yes,
because
lead
it's
it.
spotting something, and I think security. No, science will do. Insight, security, or science, whichever. They're both two. Okay, makes no difference. Pick one.
All right. It's inside security. Right. Let's roll.
Yeah, there is one. You didn't use the one.
Uh-oh.
Reese is leading at
Oh.
the front. There is some sort of plant-like thing ahead of you with tendrils sort of reaching towards the floor. Reese instinctively steps around this thing because you've no idea what those low-hanging things are. It's a bit sort of weeping willow-like. What he doesn't realise is that they run across the floor, and as you stand on it, there is a sudden swarm of tiny little insect-like creatures.
It's not good.
Yeah, they suddenly swarm around Reese. What are you doing?
Are they
Ready,
attacking
phasers.
him?
Oh yeah, are they attacking me or are they just surrounding me? Like how is it? How much of a panic should I be in this moment?
Um,
Because if they're just surrounding me, I think I'm just gonna try to back up as much as I can.
yeah, they're not harming you as far as you can see. But some of them are sticking to you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to wipe one of them off me. Just see if I can move it like that.
As you try to wipe it off you, what were you using to wipe it off you? Your hand or?
I think I just use a phaser. I think just to keep it safe, I'll just like try to wipe it off with a phaser.
Oh,
Yeah, use the butt of the phaser.
yeah, it sort of smears. You weren't really expecting it to smear, but you suddenly realise that these things have they're somewhere between dead and dormant over you. They're just covering you.
Huh. Yo, Doc, so what exactly is going on around me?
I'll.
Sean?
Can I go up and who's got the tricorder?
I think Shran.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Sean does, yeah.
Can we get a scan on these things and just see what they actually are?
Yeah. All right. I suppose that would be insight and science.
It would be insight and medicine. You're inside an organic creature.
Oh.
You can
Okay.
use
well,
science if you want. If you want to use science, you can. But
Oh
medicine.
no, I'd rather use medicine. My science is 1, my medicine's 5.
Oh, okay.
Let's see now. What do we got here? We got 2.
Oh.
Oh. You think that whatever has covered him is sort of this creature's nearest equivalent of globulin or antibodies. They markers that potentially mark hostiles or foreign bodies for other parts of the immune system to target.
That's not a good.
No, you're gonna be mincemeat, I think, if we don't do anything soon.
You probably also notice, since you are scanning him, that the stuff that is now adhered at a molecular level to him is, well, glows quite nicely in ultraviolet.
Hey, does the standard issue Starfleet flashlight have a black light mode?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I'm gonna click it into black light mode and have a look around. Well, checking him, obviously.
Yeah, there are numerous bushes which glow brilliantly in the black light. And
Oh,
moving
boy.
closer, but not being careful not to touch them, they are covered in these antibody things that coat you. It looks like when something triggers them, they swarm, look for anything which they recognize as foreign and mark it.
Okay, everybody avoid the rave bushes.
Rave bushes? Have you ever been to a rave, Sean?
No.
Me either.
Mm.
Too loud.
Alright. So yeah, everybody stay away from the things that glow under black light.
Okay, everybody pull out your flashlights, turn them to black light mode.
Cassie, you didn't need to. I just said that.
Yeah, you said to stay away from the things that glow under black light, not to turn their flashlights to black light mode.
So are these things still on?
Yeah, are they
Reese?
still on? Like, how many?
Yes, they're on Reese. They're on Reese's clothing. They didn't adhere to the phaser, so you can wipe it off the phaser. But it's almost bonded at a molecular level to.
Okay, yeah.
So you're saying if we can't actually wipe them off either?
No.
We don't want to really touch them either. If we, I don't know what to do.
Staying here is probably not a great idea.
Yeah, let's.
We need answers. Here, there, or not.
Yeah.
Here, there are things that cause chemical burns.
Yeah, can we?
I think it might be best for me to just move in the middle of the line, and just I think we just continue forward because being here isn't good.
Yeah, don't touch anything, Lynch. Don't touch anybody else. Just don't want to transfer.
Hands off.
Yeah, yeah. We'll press on.
You've got your tricorder out. There are life signs all around you.
As in humanoid life signs or life signs?
Do you want to spend a while cataloging what's around you?
Well, I'm mostly just looking for humanoid life signs right now.
Okay, there are 70 humanoid life signs in close proximity, about half a kilometer to, let's say, Spinward is probably the best way of describing it. There's no north or south, but the direction of spin.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'm gonna go that way, trying to avoid the bushes that glow.
Also, anything on the floor.
Yes, that too.
Okay. It's not long before you get to the wall of this chamber. Looking at it, it's semi-translucent. you notice that some of the creatures are actually passing through it. And looking around, you realise there are a number of small creatures here as well. So there is actually a full ecosystem here. Scanning it, it is, I think, enzyme rich is probably the best way of describing it.
I feel like using the Novolite rod is easier to get hex things.
Is the walls the same sort of material as the floor? It's all just one sort of material.
No, the stuff you've been walking on is fairly spongy, and this is more sort of membranous.
Okay.
Could we walk through it if we had to?
Don't poke it with your hands, everybody.
You can make a medical roll to try and figure out what's going to happen if you walk through it.
For me.
Someone poke it with a stick.
Poke it with a stick. No.
Poking with a stick is not a bad idea.
I mean, I was going to touch it, but but since you said membraney, I'm like, no, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah, no. Let's get science going on this, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 4 in science.
Well, I don't know. Is this science or medicine?
Either. It's an organism. I think science fits better, to be quite honest. But
Yeah, probably let's have you roll that one. My science is bad.
It's one, Daddy.
Yes.
So what do you need from me, Declan? Is it me that you need it from?
whoever's doing it, it's going to be insight science.
Yeah, I can do it. Insight science. No, I don't have anything else. No focuses. Let's just straight roll. That is not good. That is not good.
Wait, hold on. Those are the same. Those are almost the same 2 as last time.
You are yeah, but they're in the other order. You are concentrating on the tricorder a little bit too much, not really thinking about where you're walking.
Can do it.
And you will probably fairly quickly figure out. Yeah, as it cascades down your arm, just the side of your arm, your arm just clips this wall, and some of this liquid stuff dripping down. It goes on your arm. It starts to burn your arm.
Can I quickly then rip off my jacket, my top layer?
Yes, of course you can.
Yeah. Has it gone through and is actually touching like the undergarments?
You can either take 3 stress and say that yes, you got it off really quickly, or not take the 3 stress and end up with some sort of effect.
Oh, don't do that to me.
Gambling.
Do you know what? No, I'm going to take the effect.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go for that.
In that case, unfortunately, you've got an effect of chemical burns, which is the value.
Oh, crap.
It may take a while to heal.
Get me in chemical burns.
You
Ow.
also notice that there is a burn in the screen of the tricorder, which was meant to be glass.
Oh, no. I've broken the tricorder, guys.
It's not broken, but it is enough for you to see that it is actually burning glass as well.
Oh, it doesn't just burn; it burns glass, guys.
That's
Highly
odd.
corrosive.
Yeah, I don't want to be in here anymore.
Yes.
You could sit
No,
and
we
wait
still have
3
to-
days.
I don't want to sit. I don't want to sit in here for 3 days. You know.
I think sitting still is probably the most dangerous option, despite the fact that going for the
Yeah.
unknown.
I suppose the next option is to follow the wall until we find an exit.
Cool. Yeah,
There's
you
a
follow it
possibility.
for a couple hundred yards, and you notice that there is a. It's almost like a sphincter. It opens as little creatures arrive, and closes again behind them. It's definitely an opening. It's just you'd have to time going through it fairly carefully.
What else are we gonna do?
Would the sphincter be in reality?
I mean, could we try
Yeah,
to
I'll.
could we try to jam it open? Like make it stay open?
You really want to mess with something that wants to shut?
Well, it's we if we risk going through, we risk getting crushed.
How fast is it? I mean, could you get someone through it easily?
Oh yes,
Or would you have to dive, or could you just walk through it?
it looks like it takes about a second to open and about a second and a half to close properly.
Okay.
That's plenty of time, assuming you're ready. You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing around here. I mean, you don't really have anything that would stop it from.
Put it this way: I'm going to want a
Listen.
DC 0 roll from the group or from whoever is leading the group. It's DC 0. As long as you don't get no successes under 20, you should be okay.
We've had a few
What's the chance of doing
conversations.
that?
Our luck has not been that good.
No. I'm up for that. Who's going to make the roll?
Our
It-
fearless
it's-
leader.
It is a case of being speedy through a gap. It's daring security.
Not fitness.
High security.
I've got
Okay,
four.
fitness will work. Yeah, fitness is more around endurance, but yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. Who's rolling? Because I've only got a fitness of 8.
Let me. What is Shron's?
I'm not that good right now. Just kind of.
I'm going to guess that Rivera should lead this.
Yeah.
What's Rivera got?
I've got a 10.
A 10
Oh, yeah,
and
let him do it.
a 4. I'll roll for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's got survival, which fits rather well.
Oh my god.
That didn't come up as a die roll.
No, it didn't.
It would have been a success because I saw a 6.
Yes.
I'll roll it again, though. It was a DC
No,
0 and
no.
he didn't get any complications, so he got through. Didn't get you any momentum, but he got through.
Okay.
Do we have the
Fair
first
enough.
one back then?
Sorry?
I said, can we have the first roll?
Oh, yeah, okay. In which case you got a point of momentum. Cool.
At the rate we're going, we can use the momentum.
The area you're in, first of all, there's less spores floating around. The chamber is smaller, or at least it's lower. You can see a ceiling. And the life forms are all in this chamber, or at least the grouping that you saw. Ahead of you, there are what look to be... You're going to call them dwellings. They're only single story, but they clearly have windows. And some of them have got light coming from inside the dwellings.
I'm not gonna sell that.
Hmm.
It's so cute.
So they live right next to the recycling bin.
Well, maybe the maintenance crew live right next to the recycling.
That could be. Barracks. I don't know.
Who's going to be brave enough to see if anyone's home?
fearless leader.
You can just hold the
All right, I guess I mean I don't think I should be the one to go first. I still have the antibodies on me. I feel like I go in there and that's immediate homing in on.
Yeah, true. Yeah. How about Rivera?
I think Rivera would make sense. Yeah.
With being security, I think he would be.
It
more
makes most
inclined
sense,
to
but
go.
I'd quite like somebody to actually role play. If somebody wants to role play Rivera, that's fine with me. But
I don't know if I'd be any good at that.
Let's not put his character out on the sharp edge. Let's not use his character as a canary when he's not here.
I'll walk forward, and I'm calm in a crisis. What else have I got? Yeah, I've got no. Yeah, if I don't intervene, then I bear the responsibility. That's one of my values. So I'm just gonna walk up, and I'm just gonna peer through, see if I can see
okay,
anything.
it feels like you're entering a village. There are numerous dwellings, actually about 30 of them, in what appears to be not a definite set of circles, but there is a sort of central clearing that might be a sort of town square or town circle. And there is only light from some of the dwellings, not all of them, but they're definitely dwellings looking at them. You also notice that as you head through the village, there are livestock. There's small creatures, both two-legged and four-legged, that react as you pass through the village and scatter. There was a small sort of rise, sort of fence-like, to try and get over to actually get into the village, and the livestock are not leaving that.
Okay. I'll. Do I not see any movement at all other than these creatures?
No.
Okay. I'll just shout out, "Hello!"
At one of the dwellings, or just in the middle of the village?
Just out there, just shouting into the into the space.
Head pokes out one of the nearby buildings through what you assume is a doorway. It's an open space that will be big enough to step through. It will be big enough to step through if you're quite short. Looks out. He has got ridges on his forehead. It's a little. It reminds you of Klingons or Danubians or that sort of ridge structure. And his skin is a sort of very, very white colour. Not got the sort of pink you'd expect. And unfortunately, he's going to speak at you for 2-3 minutes before your universal translator starts picking up what he's saying. But he is gesturing and he points towards the roof. And from the tone, you think he may be asking questions.
And I just.
Guttural.
You want a what roll?
It's quite guttural, whatever he's saying.
Oh, I thought you said you wanted a roll or something. I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? Okay, and I'm just sort of nodding along, like smiling, making sure I'm not making any sort of hostile sort of movements. I'm like, yeah, hello, yes. I would actually go a bit closer towards him as well. While he's actually talking to me. You say he's quite short. Are we talking like sort of waist height or?
Oh no, sort of 4'8", 4'9".
Oh, so maybe like chestish sort of height.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the Americans, for whatever reason, Brits use imperial measures for height.
Yeah.
We use meters for a lot of other things, but when you talk about people's height, imperial units seem to work rather well.
Yeah, we like a mismatch, don't we?
Yes. Pints if you're buying a drink in the pub, and liters if you're drying milk.
Yep.
That gives me a fairly good idea of how tall they are.
Oh, you want to hear? It's funny. We actually sell soda bottles in liter bottles, soda in liter bottles, and 2-liter bottles.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm 5'2" in real life, so he's like 4 inches shorter than me. I was stuck at 4'10" for the longest time. I hated it.
Well, that gives you a good idea then. Yeah. So he sort of starts inching towards you, gesturing, throwing his hands wide, and as the universal translator cuts in, you catch "at this time of night."
Yeah. My name is Dr. Glenn Roberts from the starship Odysseus. And who may you be?
I don't care who you are. We need to get indoors before the hunters arrive.
Hunters?
My
What do you
face
mean?
just drops. Like, hunters?
The cleansers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can-
let's do that.
Can we come with you?
Where did you say you were from?
The starship
Starboard.
Odysseus.
What's a starship?
That's a long story. Let's get inside first.
How long have you got?
It's a complicated subject to explain. Shall we get inside to safety first?
He'll lead you inside. There is a large rock at the center of this building. Round the outside, there's hammock-like things, but they look like they're all made up of a single individual leaf, and there appear to be 7 or 8 people sleeping in this. 7 or 8 hammocks. There are 6 people sleeping. Come. We have strangers from another village. Which direction did you say?
We're not. We're from.
We'll just point. I'll just point somewhere. Just over there.
We're not entirely sure. We're lost.
You not bring a pathfinder with you?
Apologies, no.
Half
We're
right.
explorers and medics.
You do not have pathfinders where you're from? What about
No.
tenders? Makers?
No.
Which
Same.
guild are you with?
A
Most
little
of us
one.
are healers.
Oh, the guild. We're with the Federation Guild. There we go.
The Divine Book does not talk of a Federation guild.
Divine book.
The Divine
Yeah.
Book.
We have never heard of this divine book. Our apologies.
You do not have a copy of the Divine? How do you
No.
pray?
To each
My
their
knees.
own.
As you.
Come. I will talk over supper.
We brought our own food. We do not need to impose upon you.
He's offering hospitality. Accept.
Yeah, never mind then.
He gestures towards the sort of rock in the center of the room. Stolos, Telrek, we have guests. Somebody in one of the hammocks peers out. Guests? As he sort of rolls out of the hammock, you see that he's about the same height, but this one is bluish.
Ooh,
Okay. And what color was the first guy?
White.
white.
He was
They-
pastier than you, Daddy.
Looking around, they're all about the same height, but there are blue ones and there are white ones.
Okay.
They are
Is there about
strangers from
any-
a village to the.
Is there like an even number, like split between blue and white, or is there more blue than white? Can we tell that?
Looking at them, you wonder if there's a spectrum between pure white and dark blue, and these might fit on the spectrum somewhere.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's interesting. All right.
They are missing a copy of the Divine Book.
No, all of that.
Worse than mine.
Where is this divine book that you speak of? This is it's quite. It seems like you live your life by this book.
In the morning, we will take you to see the keeper,
Mm.
and the keeper
That
can
sounds
talk
like
of the book.
good. That sounds like a good plan. May we have what sort of food do you guys have? This is
I'm using haste.
very interesting.
Stranger, I don't think I introduced myself properly. I am Mirren. This is Solace. We are both tenders. Telric over there is a pathfinder. Tavi is our maker of the Makers Guild.
So she's a craftsperson?
Craftsperson.
We call those who make items, especially those who do it by manually and by hand.
The makers perform the ritual of calming the world.
Ah, very interesting.
Their prayers are the most solid.
I am a healer.
Perhaps you are a maker.
I suppose.
Do you calm the world?
No, but I heal and aid those who are sick and wounded.
Why? Surely those who are wounded should be reconstituted into the world. Do you not give them?
Maybe if they're deceased, but if they are still alive, there's hope that they may recover. That is where we are. That is where we are from believes.
But tenders, you might be a tender. Do you give herbal remedies and?
Yes, I do.
So you will be one who judges when one is ready to return to the wild.
Return to duty, yes.
No, to the wild. Once
act as tenders as well.
When one's disharmony is too great, one returns to the wild. That you bathe in the sea of in the Amber Sea.
Okay. That gave me chemical burns.
It wasn't her time yet.
It wasn't my time yet, so I was rather given some blight injuries, and I was pulled out by my associates.
Well, I can see it's not your time. You're not pure of white, but nor are you black of colour. Your disharmony looks quite mild, to be quite honest. You are almost white, although you have a strange hue to you.
Everyone is different, I suppose.
I'm gonna say quietly to the away team, like, I don't know how much we should be actually telling them, like, where we're actually from. They seem very confused and very enclosed in their own little universe. They don't seem to understand that there's life outside of this vessel. What do you guys think?
I think you're right. These people,
so long they've forgotten.
They have lost all sense of the purpose of their journey.
I turn to our new friend and say, you may call me Kennedy.
Kennedy? That is a strange name. You may take my bunk if you wish. He points to one of the hammocks that looks leaf-like. I can sleep on the floor. As a guest, you should, until you find your own abode and bunk.
Thank you. My mother gave me my name.
Are you sure you're not a pathfinder? You travelled from village to village.
We are both pathfinders and tenders in a way. We travel to heal and aid others.
And where is your cloak?
My cloak?
All pathfinders wear a feathered cloak.
I do not have one. I apologize.
It was
I
dirty.
guess we are and damaged.
I mean, most of the stuff we had was more or less dirty after having to walk here, as you can tell from my clothing.
Now, I must sleep. As a tender, I am responsible for harvesting in the morning. But feel free to eat what you wish. And as I said, you may have my hammock. I will sleep over there on the floor.
Kennedy just kind of crawls into hammock and goes to sleep after taking her pack off and laying it on the floor.
Anyone else doing anything?
Oh, good. I want to try some of their food, or at least see it and smell it and potentially taste it. Depends on if it's looks edible.
Are you scanning it first?
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Yeah,
Probably is the best thing.
yeah. Let's give it a scan, shall we?
The scan suggests it's probably edible. Kind of high levels of tannin would probably make a very nice alcohol if you were to ferment it.
Ooh.
There's absolutely no sign of any protein in their food.
Ah,
Well, they are the protein.
The food here is there's fruit, vegetables.
It's a translucent.
Okay,
there's no like
is that what?
beans or anything like that?
I didn't
I'll
catch that,
give
Nick.
it. Sorry, Nick. Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, does anything that looks like, I don't know, like any sort of like bean related food that we can see? Nothing like that, just only food, veggies.
Do we see any legumes?
Yeah, there probably is something along those lines.
That shows. Let's go for that.
Okay, so that's probably the only reason why that they haven't like fully been nutrient deficient.
They probably got at least a few nutritional deficits if they were
Yeah.
human.
Yeah, I'll take a bite. I'll dig in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's quite sweet. It's really nice.
Guys, it's quite nice. So I finish off what I was given, and I'll go over and sort of actually I'll just turn to a random one and just say how long is actually no they'll have no concept of time, will they? But is it a long time for morning before the harvest?
Fine.
Yeah.
We arise when there is light.
Okay. Let me see if I can teach you a little bit about what time is. There are now. I'll just reel off. There are 60 seconds in 1 minute. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour, and I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are seconds. So do you know how long it is until you have to wait for harvest?
I don't understand.
Okay. Guys, I'm not getting anywhere with this.
It was a good attempt.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was all right, but
It-
clearly speaking to an amoeba. Yeah.
It does actually start getting light in about 3 hours.
Okay. Would we have slept?
I don't know. None of you really needed sleep. You know, from a ship time, it's sort of mid-afternoon when you were going to sleep.
My character just kind of rolled into bed because
Strahd would have taken a nap because you never know when you're going to get a chance to sleep again.
Okay, you arrive in the middle of the night. It was about 3-4 hours since you arrived before people start getting up. So That means about 28 hours has passed on the Odysseus. It's still on its way to that planet.
Okay. So yeah.
They're a full day ahead of you now.
Okay. But anyway, it's still going to be a few days.
Looking out the window, looking out the window, first of all, you notice that there is a fine mesh over the window to stop things coming in and out. It lets light through, but it prevents
Okay.
possibly those insects through, or those, marker things. There are people outside, the little creatures. There are people herding them, and there are people milking them.
What are they milking them from?
Questions we don't need to know right now.
I'm going to fade to black on that question.
You know what? My response.
I'm
Mirren
fine with that.
Mirren is keen to take you to meet Amar, the keeper.
So I guess we're off to see the keeper.
We're off to see the wizard.
We'll have to see the
Awesome.
keeper.
The wonderful
wonderful
people of this
keeper of
village.
A couple of things that you notice about Amar. First of all, Amar is getting close to 7 foot. He's like the others,
Whoa.
but his skin is a very dark blue, almost jet black. He's got long robes, some sort of medallion. No, he's got a chain, gold sort of chain. First metal you've seen. And on the end of it, there is a medallion. But it's not a traditional medallion, it is rectangular.
Any sort of inscription on the thing?
Not that you can see.
Yeah, or a symbol or something?
No, but looking at it, it looks like it looks curved, but you get a feeling that looking at the way it's lying on his chest, the other side is flat.
Okay.
Mirren says you are strangers from another village,
We are.
Yes.
but you have lost your sacred text.
Yes.
Do you seek guidance?
In a way.
Yes.
We seek knowledge as well. I would say we're curious. A curious
you are.
guild.
The sacred text talks of
Okay, right.
strangers.
Oh, no.
It says we should be wary of strangers.
Strangers can often seek to do you harm, but some do not wish to, and some wish you friendship.
Strangers are like anyone else. Some are nice and some are not.
It says that strangers may arrive to lead us astray before we reach the promised land.
Promised land?
Promised land?
Hyundai, the promised land.
Say what?
This is out of character. Declan, did you put the goddamn Promised Land a car brand?
Wait a second.
No.
No, hold on. Hold on.
Hyundai!
No, Hyundai.
Oh, I heard Hyundai.
No, Hyundai.
Hyundai.
What happens with this holy land, this sacred land that you're
Promised
destined
land.
for? Promised land. There you go. What is meant to happen here?
It is our permanent home, where we are destined for.
But what if there are already people there? Would you live in harmony or seek to drive them away?
What?
But
We
what
are
if
the
there were
people.
already people?
Why would there
What if
already
they-
be people?
Mm.
The founders created the promised land for us. We are destined for it. Come, I will show you the sacred text, and I will show you the promised land.
Yes. I can now purchase one of the dead.
He'll lead you into a slightly more ornate hut, where there is a sort of alcove at the back and a plinth on which there is
A
a
large
book. It's a handwritten book. Who's looking at it?
Um,
I don't think I would have suspicion.
Do you want to make
I'll go. Oh, you're reading it, Nick.
Nick,
No,
do you
no,
want to
no,
make
no,
an
I'm not.
insight
No.
engineering roll?
No, I'm not. No.
Our
I've
fearless
known
leader.
Your fearless
I-
leader who might actually... Is he any good at engineering?
No, I don't think so.
Engineering? No, I don't think you are you?
I think I was only.
He is superb at engineering.
Oh,
Reese Lynch
Oh,
is
wow.
very, very good at engineering.
oh, you know what? Maybe I will read it. You know what? Fearless leader it is, I guess.
Yeah, let's go.
Inside engineering.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think any of your focuses help here, though.
I don't think so. I read them and I was like, nope, that doesn't seem anything like a book.
Oh, sorry. This may sound really weird. I'm wondering if Federation history might help.
Oh,
Oh,
galactic.
is it because it's a generation ship? Is it 'cause it's a
Federation history is the
generation?
most likely of them. No, I think none of them work here, but go for a roll.
I
No
don't
focuses.
know what the role is.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes, you got a success. After it
success.
just tipped over. Looking at this, you get a feeling this may be a handwritten 8th or 9th generation copy of an engineering manual.
So we've got essentially their engineering manual.
He will point at the picture of the promised land, and it is quite clearly an isometric projection map of a planet.
I
And
see.
so, and it's probably not that well copied. There's a lot of very strange stuff.
Almost like some people took like says add their own personal things to it.
Here, he sort of flips over from the bit about the promised land. Whilst you are here, you should help the makers with the calm, with the ritual of the calm of the world. And he starts pointing at a section of rituals that are written in a fairly ritualistic text. But at the top left, you can see that somebody's copied the words rather poorly that translate as maintenance schedule.
Very interesting. Very.
I don't think we should get him. I don't think we should get involved in any ritual, but
I will look. Let's see how these rituals play out.
okay.
Yeah.
And then I think whenever I get away from them slightly, I'll try to like huddle up with you guys and just quietly say, "That's an engineering manual. That's not. Don't tell them this."
What is it? An engineering manual for them or for us?
Yeah.
Sorry, for them or for us?
It looks like it's Federation.
Oh no, it's not Federation.
Really know.
But you have seen handwritten copies of things, so you've got an idea that it might be a handwritten copy of something.
Okay. I don't know if it's Federation. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's an engineering manual for some sort of ship. It looks like that's what they've been following, just the maintenance of how to make sure that ship stays running. And it's entirely possible that if the rituals don't work, the
Things
ship
are going to
may
start
fail.
breaking.
Yeah.
Mirren, who led you there, says, "Well, if you would like to help, today I'm doing the calm of the world, removing the parasites from the vats, the ritual.
That
We
sounds
must
like fun.
we must strain,
What?
being careful to remove the parasites without getting the amber fluids of the gods upon ourselves."
You don't want to get that on you.
Sounds like a hood.
Mm. Oh, excuse me.
You know what? We'll assist as much as we can.
Okay, I'm going to very much go with a time passes because I'll probably. Are you spending a bit of time with this village and getting to know them?
I'm assisting with the ritual.
Yeah.
I think I would-
we
Probably like a mix
wanna-
between ritual and talking to people.
If you're willing to spend a day doing the rituals and finding out what they do, they are basically cleaning things, removing blockages, making sure there's no vermin, that sort of stuff. General maintenance in the form of rituals. The people of the village that there are the keepers, who this guy is a keeper and he has one of the ancient books, but you realize fairly quickly that the tenders are basically your farmers, and the makers are the people who do the maintenance based on the rituals of this ship.
Okay.
Pathfinders are
And
your navigators.
Pathfinders apparently travel from village to village carrying messages, and they're the only ones who know how to cross the enzyme sea.
You walk on the parts that aren't the enzymes.
They probably know better. Well, they probably know a few tricks.
Sounds easier.
Sort of more than that, but yes.
Yeah, apparently you have to time it right because there are waves on the enzyme seas at certain times.
Mm.
Okay, we didn't
Um,
get to the full body chemical burns with fucking just.
But Pathfinders also carry things from village to village because some villages cannot prepare certain things. This village, we bring the milk. He sort of points at the various animals they've been herding. But other villages provide things we need.
A sort of barter system.
Mm-hmm.
You also figure out the reason there is no protein is because they only eat meat as an act of sacrifice to the god. And only when the sacred text suggests that they should.
Nice. Okay. This checks out.
And
For now.
towards the end of the day, the village together sit for their evening meal, and the keeper will talk about the pilgrimage that he intends to take to the sacred machine at the heart of the world.
When are you When are you heading to When are you taking this pilgrimage?
On the fourth day from today. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah. I was like, I think we only have like what, like a day or two at most left here.
Mm.
You were meant to be spending 3 days here, so yeah.
Yeah, we only have like I think a day then.
Okay, I'm going to call a very short break and then introduce the ship arriving at the planet because that's the other side of the story. So I'm going to say like if we have a 10-15 minute break and
Yeah, it's
then
like 10
half an hour
minutes.
to wrap up this session.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep, sounds good.
Right. See you in a mo, guys.
So, aboard the Odysseus. The Odysseus at this point has been travelling for 9 days. Back on the generation ship, they've probably experienced just over a day. And command warp to discover a very, very bright planet. According to sensors, it's a Class M planet. It's capable of supporting life. and it has seas and weather. It's got an oxygen nitrogen atmosphere, and you're not picking up any radio signals, no television, no radio, nothing like that.
Why is it yellow? Okay, helm, standard orbit. A scan for life signs.
Standard orbit. You can do that.
That's my favorite feline.
There you go. Standard orbit.
Nice. Can we get a life sign scan? See if there's anything on there.
That's a sun, Captain.
It's not a sun.
don't
It's a
know.
planet.
I don't think we'd get that close to it if it was a sun.
Apparently the red stuff is the oceans.
Ah.
As for life signs, what are you looking for? Are you looking for any life signs, animal life signs, humanoid life signs?
Let's
Like
just go
life
with
and death.
any.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
this
sorry.
planet is absolutely teeming with life.
Fine.
Okay.
Humanoid?
Okay, there are approximately 620 million humanoid life signs.
Ooh, sites.
Signs.
So like, signs. I thought you said
600
sites, as in like
620 million.
That's not a lot.
Question.
But it's not negligible.
Technology. What is their current level of technological development?
There's no radio signals.
Oh yeah, they're in this like medieval 17th century sort of, aren't they? We knew
Century
that.
Right before the Industrial Revolution on Earth,
Yeah.
Captain.
So they won't have discovered radio or electricity.
But they
that
do
point.
have. They might have telescopes.
They might have telescopes. They'll
Hmm.
probably have stuff like something similar to the spinning Jenny.
They might have big observatories.
They might have
Probably not a
observatories.
lot, but they might
The
have like
popula-
a big upload.
The population sites, there
Yeah.
are some pretty big population sites. Some of them as high as like sort of 200,000 people in a small area.
Okay, so we've got towns in there.
Would it
Yeah.
be reasonable to be able to look up in the Federation databases about how many people, say, London had in the 17th century?
Oh, hang on. I'll use Wikipedia for that for you.
Thank you. I'm trying to use a guesstimate of one of the major cities of a major world power.
It would have been one of the biggest cities in the world at that time.
And at the time, it would have been one of the biggest cities in the world.
Yeah, Britannia ruled the seas.
The population of London between 1600 and 1650 was around 200,000 people.
Oh wow! So this is like
Probably reason for,
the
England,
major
for the
force.
capital city of England at the time.
Yeah.
So I'd say they're pretty on track, population scale wise. Most people tended to be on country estates ruled by a lord at the time.
Can we get a scan on the oceans and see why they're red rather than blue? Can we do like a more of a detailed scan on sort of the oceans?
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to why it's red rather than blue.
The reason why it's red is because of the atmosphere that apparently is absorbing quite a large amount of blue and green light from the sun. Also, the sun has a reddish tone to it.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
That makes sense.
Is there like, I don't know, what's in the atmosphere that's making it absorb so much red and green light?
It's some sort of iron compound that's going to make it reddish.
Okay.
All right.
No radiation.
I'm just curious.
No radio, no radiation, nothing which would suggest modern technology. Quite
The
a lot
atmosphere is
of big
breathable,
stone
right?
buildings in that town that you spotted.
What do the natives look like? Do we know?
The natives. The natives are blue in color. They have antenna, and they have white hair.
They sound like Andorians.
Yes, or Eno. It's that whole preserver thing. The preservers transplanted a load of races around the galaxy, so you keep meeting races that look surprisingly similar. Just like the Vulcans look just like the Romulans, and there are about 30 different races which all look like humans. They transplant the preservers transplanted all sorts of races.
Yeah, they all speak English. Yeah.
No, they don't. But you've got universal translators.
They all speak.
Yeah. I don't see why a vessel or an object would be purposely coming to this place.
May I suggest a theory?
Certainly.
I think this may be some sort of generation or cryo ship.
Okay. What? So you're saying like the species has built a ship with their own offspring on it and just sent it off into space, aiming for a planet, and in the hopes that they would colonize a second planet.
Exactly.
Is that what you're suggesting?
Declan,
Yep.
what's the exact definition of a generation ship so I can pull it up and like spout it at the captain? Well, actually, no, I'll look it up myself.
The ship's coming towards the planet or away from the
It may
planet?
have been a simple case
Was its
of
planet?
Towards the
Oh.
planet.
Now that's an interesting question. Do you want to know where it was coming from?
I didn't even think of that.
You know what?
Generation
Yeah.
ship or a
Yeah,
world
where is it coming
or
from?
world ship is a hypothetical type of interstellar arc that essentially basically means that generations of people working and caring and living on the ship, generations of people living and dying.
Well, considering that before one develops before you have starships, the only way you could view it, the only thing you can learn about another system is through passive observation. This may have been the closest place they could see that looked habitable.
Looking back along their course, you find a system where the star went nova. And the light of that supernova reached this part of the galaxy about 40 years ago.
So 40 light years away.
No, but the light is going
No?
fractionally faster than the generation ship.
So the ship would have. So at the speed the ship's traveling, does it track as a possible origin point?
Yeah, that would suggest that the ship has been traveling for about 600 years. And the light was traveling for about 560 years.
And at the speed they're traveling, they're doing about a 7-to-1.
Yeah.
So they've been cruising along for, call it, 80-something years.
No, they've been cruising. They've experienced 7 times that length of time.
Oh, so they've experienced wait a second.
They've experienced about 3,500 years on that ship.
No,
Yeah.
that's not how it works. Time goes more slowly the faster you go.
From their perspective.
From their perspective, the exterior galaxy, as far as they're concerned.
Right.
So do you reckon that this is just a mere coincidence that they're going towards this planet?
It
No,
could also be
I-
considered
it's
only a
it's a
province planet.
Class M planet round a habitable-looking sun within the habitable belt at the right distance, which would have occluded the sun from their solar system. Therefore, they know it's got planets.
They most likely just chose any habitable planet and just chose that destination.
Well, this
Just
planet's got a
figured out.
slightly eccentric orbit that actually rises out of the plane, kind of like Pluto's orbit, which means that it would have occluded the sun from their angle.
Hmm.
Closest
So
place
they,
they could
kn-
see
yeah,
habitable.
it's a place they could see that they knew was habitable and had a planet.
I mean, I don't really want to beam down there. I don't. I mean, yeah, we're talking first contact on a primitive society. I think we should leave them alone.
Unless we absolutely have to, Captain, I agree.
I mean, the main problem is that the ship is still coming to this planet. Even if we leave them alone, that isn't something that's going to change.
Yeah.
Have we gotten any reports back from the away team?
No,
Way out of
they
order.
would have no easy way of contacting you. All they can do is set up the transporter beacons and hope that you beam them out at the right time.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Is there anything you
I
want to
don't know
try
what
from
to
orbit to
suggest.
actually find out about these people?
Can we? Let's see. What are the major stone structures I can see? Is there anything similar to, say, the Houses of Parliament, Buckingham Palace? Hello, Declan Spawn.
I'll put my
Hello.
headphones on him so he can hear. Here,
Huh? What?
put my headphones on. There.
Hey,
Hello.
Rupert.
Hello.
Hello.
And
Hi.
Cassie.
Right. Thank you.
I get my arthritic butt up and he leaves.
He's not missing much.
So we're going to come up with ways of finding out about this planet without interfering with their civilization. Although, to be
I
quite
mean,
honest, if
we
you
could,
have any
like,
Andorians, they could
yeah.
blend in quite well.
Do we have any Andorians on here other than Sean?
Now that you mention it, he says, looking through the pictures. Bear with me. I'm going to have a look at the full list of crew. Full crew list. The ones I've documented.
Why do you want to go down to the planet?
I don't. I just asked if there were any other Andorians on the crew.
And the answer is
Curiosity.
Hmm.
column race. Yes, there are. Clear filter and Andorians. You've got one dental assistant. Not sure how useful that is going to be. And one of the
Yeah.
surgical team.
A surgeon and a dentist. Dental assistant.
Yeah, not a dentist, a dental assistant. That's a step down from dentist. In fact, you've actually only got one dentist and two dental assistants. So
We have are one or two of those Andorian, or is just the one?
you've got two dental assistants. One's Andorian and the other's human.
So I have this weird feeling that the majority of our crew is human.
I would say so.
We tend to be a high empathy species.
You have got Andorians, Betazoids, Caitians, Denobulans, Orions, Tellarites, Vulcans.
Oh, we have Orions in the crew?
Yes, you definitely have Orions in the crew. You've got one of the helmsmen,
Gamma is Orion.
and you have this lady. At stage. Your head of trauma care.
I suppose.
Sorry,
you know,
head of trauma cares. Alright.
well, there's nothing specifically stopping them. I just think they're probably not common in Starfleet.
She has values like good leaders get their hands dirty, and preparation saves lives, but improvisation wins the day.
Oh, she is trauma.
And her focuses are decontamination processes, survival training, crisis zone logistics, and trauma counselling. Trauma counselling is very useful.
Well, keeping somebody from losing their mind in the middle of a mess is always useful.
I like the fact that crisis zone logistics involves getting things into the zone rather than, which is probably far more important than medical care quite often, is actually getting food and things to the people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's. How many? We should.
You could
Even though
potentially
we're
go down with
eight-
2 surgeons and a dental care assistant if you wanted to.
Not really. I don't see any reason to hustle these people unless,
Or you could just use your sensors and enlarge on various areas of the planet and try and figure things out.
I vote we go with the sensors option.
Yeah, let's.
I don't want to risk any of our crew.
Active sensors
Yeah,
or
let's-
passive sensors?
Active.
Cool.
Yeah, let's observe from afar first.
I'm trying to figure out how much of this information you'd be able to figure out from just observing. Okay, you have no way of figuring this out from afar, but the people do all call themselves the Dakari.
Whatever I'm getting now, the Chimera hits.
The Dakari.
Yeah, the world's Dakara and the people of the Dakari. So the Drakari. Let me remove the head of trauma care from the thing. Yep.
You
So-
have a sample image of a Drakari for us?
No, but
they're proto-Andorians.
some of them are. They also appear to have Tellarites and Vulcans.
Ooh.
No.
There are at least 4 major empires. Zooming in, you can spot at least a couple of battlefields. There are troops in action, cannons. Oh, and ships. There's quite a lot of ships. If you zoom in on that large city that you found, the harbour is full of ships. Big ships.
Can we
And we
Can
see
we tell-
Tellarites and Andorians, Tellarites, and Vulcans.
So what is the? Are we still Are we talking muskets or are we talking spears and pikes at this point?
You're talking muskets, and those ships have got, okay, it's difficult to tell from above, but on the decks, on the top decks, they have cannons. And based on the size, you would have thought you're looking 70 to 100 guns on the big
So
vessels.
we're talking ships of the line here.
Yeah.
Can we
Okay.
tell if like each species is fighting each other? Like sort of the Vulcans are fighting the
Okay, I'm going to
uh,
assume the ship spends a full day scanning things, trying to coordinate information, and
2 seconds.
yeah, you think there are
He's a little shit. Stop it. What are you digging there for? There's no reason to dig there.
digging.
You have the vessel engine.
I'll wait until he gets back.
You can get a vessel. It's just really.
Looking at what you can see, you think there's at least 4 empires. There are also lots of nations where you think they are either vassals or colonies or protectorates, but basically they look to be in some way in the political power of those 4 nations. You also notice that looking at the capitals and looking at the crews of the ships, the Andorians and Proto-Andorians are the people in the higher society.
Okay, so the empire, but other than that, so the races are all kind of mixed up, but the Proto-Andorians tend to be
In power.
in the higher classes.
Almost exclusively.
Okay.
You're definitely looking at a tiered hierarchy.
Probably
It
a lot.
looks like, yeah, it looks like certain races have a position higher than others, and that, yeah.
Give it a couple hundred years.
yeah, they'll sort it out. I'm sure.
Will they? What happens in 38 years when a new race turns up?
That's a good question. Glad you asked.
More complicated.
Thankfully, Philip Shishran will be retired and drinking Andorian ale on a beach somewhere by then. Hopefully.
Your science department have had a look at these guys, and they have classified them as mildly xenophobic, expansionist, imperial, colonial powers.
So basically, much like Earth was at that point.
Probably, yeah.
Things could have gotten very bad, way worse if the Vulcans had turned up when this was a thing on Earth.
I mean, you never know. It could the visitors could actually resolve everything.
And you spot several observatories.
Yeah,
Oh
let's get
crap!
Orbit.
The odds of them seeing us with those are terrible, but not zero.
They probably don't use them much except at night. So as long as you say sort of stay sun side and don't get between the sun and them, you're unlikely to be spotted.
Yeah, we can. I think we can do that, can't we, Helm? We can navigate that.
Relatively easy.
Good.
Cool.
Is there much else to learn from this, or should we go pick up our crewmates?
Not without going down to the planet. So, you spent less than 2 days looking at it. You turn around and start heading back towards a colony ship. Meanwhile, on the colony ship, middle of the night, having heard the stories and gone back to that guy's hut to sleep, you were all awoken as the entire ship, and I am saying the entire 100-kilometer long ship, vibrates. The whole thing resonates. There is an astounding crash. And
Did the damn Klingons explode something?
suddenly the entire place springs to life. as insects, birds, etc., take flight, the automated defenses, which are really not very nice, start preparing for the unknown. Um, so things like the antibody start triggering. And in the middle of what people would normally expect to be the light, the bioluminescence floods on and a klaxon starts sounding. The people look concerned and confused. We need to find out what this means. We need to go and talk to the keeper.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're all booking it for the keeper's hut.
Yeah, the keeper is looking
Yeah.
through his manual trying to figure out what the klaxon actually means. But this thing is like 300 pages long and he clearly doesn't know what the klaxon means.
You mind wanting
So
to
this
take a
isn't-
look?
So this isn't normal then.
The book is for the hands of the keepers only. No, this is not normal. And you also have to wonder what sort of thing would cause a ship 100 kilometers long and 80 kilometers across to well, shudder the way this thing shuddered.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's not the Klingons, is it?
Shit, almost.
It's probably the bloody damn Klingons.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the Klingons.
Well, they probably got really bored. They've been waiting over a week.
Let them wait.
Well, clearly they don't want.
So I will end there with the explosion somewhere in the ship.
Oh.
Activate my to be continued.
No, we get us at the cliffhanger. No.
A proper cliffhanger. Oh my god.
Oh, and
well, these cliffhangers definitely.
just to confirm, the fluorescent or the what's the word bioluminescent markers have not come off the XO yet. They have bonded to his skin.
They go under black light.
If
Sorry?
he gets eaten, can I be the commanding the XO?
No.
You know what?